President Donald Trump is speaking after an assassination attempt on his life today.
And there was a tremendous amount of love and coming together. I watched and I was very, very impressed by that. But First Lady and I were taken very well care of, very quickly rushed off the stage. Vice President J.D. Vance was here, was likewise beautifully done. He was just saying how quickly everybody acted, law enforcement, Secret Service in particular in this case, but law enforcement. Marco had the same thing. Pete was there. Pete didn't want any help. He didn't want anybody to help. He doesn't want anybody to help him, but he did get some, didn't you? And I think you also said that it was very impressive. So with that, I'd like to ask Todd Blanche to come up, say a few words, and tell you it's already underway. The man has been captured. They're going to his apartment. I guess he lives in California, and he's a sick person, a very sick person, and we don't want things like this to happen. I think it's very important that I say, though, and I told the representatives of the evening, and they did such a beautiful job with such a beautiful evening. And again, they're talking about free speech in our Constitution. That's what it's all about, not just White House correspondence. It was really based on free speech in our Constitution. But I said very importantly that we'll do it again within the next 30 days, and we'll make it bigger and better and even nicer. So I just want to thank everybody that was involved. I also want to thank the press, the media. You've been very responsible in your coverage. I will say, I've been seeing what's been out. You've been very responsible. So Todd Blanche, I'd like to say a few words, and then we're going to have cash. And then you're going to go on, and we can ask, I guess we can take a couple of questions. I want to thank the First Lady for, that was a rather traumatic experience for her. There was a lot of action taking place up there very quickly. But again, the response time was really incredible. And we're going to reschedule. We're going to do it again. We're not going to let anybody take over our society. We're not going to cancel things out because we can't do that. We wanted to stay tonight. I will tell you, I fought like hell to stay. But it was protocol. They said, please, sir, because they didn't know there was a lot of action going on, and they didn't know could there be probably a lone shooter, but we'll find out. We'll find out very quickly. They have it very well under control. So I want to thank everybody very much. And Todd Blanche, please.
The charges should be self-evident given the conduct, but as you'll hear, there will be multiple charges surrounding the shooting, around the possession of firearms, and anything else that we can get on this guy. The investigation is obviously ongoing and just started. There is federal law enforcement already working on search warrants and doing their job, and I don't want to get ahead of them and don't want to get ahead of the work that they're doing even as we speak. Director Patel and I were just on the crime scene a short while ago, and everybody in this room should rest assured that the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI, Secret Service, everybody's on the scene doing their job. I know that the police chief is going to give an update from the scene as soon as we're finished here, and I obviously will lead the details of what they have learned to him. But in the meantime, I just want to thank everybody in this room for the courage, and I want to thank President Trump for his words, and I promise you, justice will be served. Thank you, Dr. Patel.
Thank you, General. Thank you, Mr. President. The President's absolutely right. You saw the best resolve of American law enforcement because you, Mr. President, inspire them 24/7, 365. You give them the resources that they need, and they know that you have their back. And that is a changing dynamic in this country, and that's why you saw brave Secret Service agents respond immediately, swiftly, subdue and take down the suspect, and safeguard the lives of thousands of individuals at that hotel. Thanks to our interagency partnership with the Department of Homeland Security and the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI was rapidly deployed onto the scene, took over the evidence response unit, is examining all the ballistics that were found on scene to include the long gun and the shell casings. We are conducting witness interviews as we speak. You will hear from our team on the scene there with the mayor and the head of the FBI field division there. But please know what the Attorney General has just said reigns no truer. You saw the very best of America tonight. the very best unite us at a time of uncertainty, because we have leadership here with the president, the vice president.
But we're going to be doing one hopefully within the next 30 days or sooner, and I am ready, willing, and able, and I was all set to really rip it. And I said to my people, this would be the most inappropriate speech ever made if I said it. So I'll have to say, but I don't know if I could ever be as rough as I was going to be tonight. I think I'm going to be probably very nice. I'll be very boring the next time, but we're going to have a great event. And you did a fantastic job. Thank you very much. Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. There's a report in the New York Post that this assailant assembled his weapon somewhere on site at the hotel. What do you think about that? And I ask respectfully, why do you think this keeps happening to you?
Well, you know, I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this, where they got them. But the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much because they like it that way. And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people.
That entry area near the magnetometers, you're looking at it right there on your screen, of this suspect, you see him, well, he entered from the upper left corner.
My name is Sean Kern, I'm Director of the Secret Service. Tonight, we saw exactly what our brave men and women do each and every day to protect our protectees. It's not easy, and I will tell you that they performed admirably. We got to see what they do, and that individual, when he charged a checkpoint, was apprehended. It shows that our multi-layered protection works, and I'm grateful to our partners that helped assist us with building these sites and protecting these sites.
Was shot in the bulletproof vest, but he is doing okay. The president said he spoke to the officer tonight, and he's doing great. He's in high spirits. He said they told him they love him. He's a proud guy. President's reiterating again, they felt like hell to stay, but law enforcement decided that was not the best option. But he described this individual as a sick person.
He took away from this press conference. Yeah, a lot to unpack here from the president and the FBI, as well as local Metro Police and the mayor of D.C. So what we do know is that this man came running with a handgun, a shotgun, and multiple knives. We see the video, we have it. One of the things they will be looking at, security measures at that hotel. From the video we're seeing, it's very grainy. And in 2026, they should have super sharp footage of what's going on there. It appears to be grainy. I don't know if it's from the initial footage or just the cell phone that was used to bring that video in to the president's cell phone or other cell phones. But also, there was an exchange of gunfire between that man and Secret Service. Now, one Secret Service agent was shot. We're told by law enforcement this man was not shot at all, although there were dozens of officers there, some of them shooting at him. He was rather tackled by officers there and apprehended. So we do know he's from California. Earlier, the president said that they would be going to his home in California to see what they could find out. But once again, they are trying to get all of the orders in place to get a search warrant to go into that home in California. But
This
right
is
now,
a shot of the
hotel room at that
possible
particular facility secured off and looking
offender.
for information there. Very interesting when we heard from the president, Rob, that he said he heard the noise, but initially he thought it was perhaps a tray or dishes falling. So he really didn't respond until the Secret Service came up and grabbed him and said, hey, we must leave. And I want to point out, this was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, so hundreds of reporters there, and a lot of us, well, I've covered these sort of situations for many years. It's important for our audience right now to understand, and this is some of the training that all of us are told about. ABC, avoid, barricade, and confront. You never know when something like this is going to happen, and even some of those journalists in that ballroom, well, they said they never thought it would happen to them in person, but it did happen this evening. So they are very lucky. They were not injured. We're lucky no one was killed here tonight. But the investigation is ongoing. Where did he get these guns from? How did he get them into the hotel? And what was his motivation? of California was subdued and arrested. Yeah, that was the sounds of the gunfire there. You see journalists and other people in that room ducking under tables. Now, surveillance video posted to the president's Truth Social account shows the alleged suspect charging through the lobby of the hotel armed with a shotgun before Secret Service agents are seen drawing their weapons. After the incident, the president identified the suspect as 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen of California. He also said one law enforcement officer was shot while wearing a bulletproof vest, but that man is expected to be okay.
Has been captured. They're going to his apartment. I guess he lives in California, and he's a sick person, a very sick person, and we don't want things like this to happen. I think it's very important that I say, though, and I told the representatives of the evening, they did such a beautiful job with such a beautiful evening. And again, they're talking about free speech in our Constitution. That's what it's all about, not just White House correspondence. It was really based on free speech in our Constitution. But I said very importantly that we'll do it again within the next 30 days, and we'll make it bigger and better and even nicer.
The president says initially he didn't realize it was gunfire. He thought it was perhaps trays falling. Now, authorities say Allen also had a handgun and multiple knives on him at the time of the attack, along with the shotgun. He's expected to be arraigned on Monday for firearm and assault charges. Those charges could be upgraded. His motive is still under investigation.